Hey everyone, back again, and today is a very exciting day, and that is because we are going to finally put the engine into the silver car. So before I go ahead and do that, what I need to do is get the EGT module mounted and get all of the sensor leads trimmed up and in their respective homes. So I played around with a few ideas to figure out exactly how to mount this module box on here, and what I did find out is the spacing on the bolt holes, just flip it around, on the back side here and the mounting side, come very close to mounting up or to matching the holes on the back of the head here. And you can see if I hold it up here, kind of equidistant between those two holes, the holes need to be widened out ever so slightly to allow me to run bolts in there. And I'm able to do this because I'm not using the EGR plate or EGR deal that goes on the back of the 2JZ head here. You can see on the intake side there is no port on the back side of the flange here that blocks it off, so this hole here isn't used for anything, and this hole right here is threaded, if you can see that. So I need to get an NPT bung to plug that up. But with not having anything back here any longer, I can use those two bolt holes to mount my module box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So what I need to do first is to widen those holes out to allow me to actually mount it up and get started with figuring out how long these leads need to be, trim them down, pin them, so on and so forth. So I'll go ahead, get that box fit up on the back here, and we'll check in a few minutes. All right, got those holes widened out and got the TC8 mounted on the back side of the head here. So pretty happy with how that went. I ended up spacing it out a little bit with these little aluminum pieces here to get a little bit more clearance to this coolant line that we'll need to run out of here, and just to keep it hopefully a little bit away from getting vibrations through the entire module box when this engine's running. So now that that's done, the next order of business is to take all of these leads and to trim them to length and put them in their respective homes. So from what I've been told, these obviously have two wires, and the red wire is magnetic, and that magnetic wire on these pins will go to the positive pin, which is the smaller one here, whereas the yellow wire or the non-magnetic one goes to the wider negative pin. So cutting these, I played around with one of the extra ones I had. It's a little bit different than how you would normally strip and splice a wire and everything, due to the metal sheathing that they have around them to keep heat out of the wires and to keep them living for as long as they can. So that poses a little bit of added difficulty to doing this, but nothing too bad, nothing that I can't handle. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this moving blanket off the top of the engine, and we can start pinning these wires. Alright, got the first one where it needs to be. Still have a little bit of slack in it so I can tie it up wherever I'd like to. Goes into number one there. And like I said, you can see one small pin, one large pin. Small pin goes on the inside. Put a little bit of heat shrink on to keep the metal sheathing from moving around. And there's number one. So now I guess it'll be time for number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And at that point, this is the sensors are wired into the module box, and just have to go ahead and do the little Autosport connector whenever it's time to actually fully wire this thing. So that's going to be fun. The pins for it are some of the smallest ones that I've ever seen, and they're little mil-spec pins, so need a special tool for it. But I digress. I'll go ahead, I'll get the rest of these knocked out and check back in a few. All right, a little bit sweaty, it's pretty hot in here, but after a little bit, I managed to go ahead and get the TC8, at least the sensors wired into it, so let's take a look. You can see 1 through 6 in there, and they go to their corresponding cylinder number. Should have enough clearance to the adapter plate for the Turbo 400, and I think we should be good to go. So that should mark the last thing, I believe, that needs to be done until the engine can drop in the car. So I'm not going to do it today. As you can see, the sweat on my face, it's pretty warm in here, and I like to do this with another set of hands. So tomorrow I'll have my girlfriend here, have a few other buddies, and we'll go ahead and get this thing dropped in. I probably should get the engine bay cleaned up a little bit. As you can see, it's been sitting for a little while. Whoops. But yeah, should be ready to put the engine in and get the turbo system in and figure out where to go from there. So until tomorrow, I'll see you guys then. All right, back the day after we put the TC8 setup on the back side of the Supra head here. So with that accomplished now, it is time to drop the engine in the car. So have a whole gang of people here. Say hi, everybody. Hi. And we're gonna get this done. So I think probably gonna set this up on a tripod, do a little time-lapse deal, and see where it goes. So wish us luck. All right, now, as you saw, we have the engine in, thanks to Buddy Lee for making that happen, everybody else here. And now, even though it is hot as hell out, I think we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the turbo system in. So probably go back to another time lapse, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now, wasn't initially planning on it, as it is, what, about 1,000 degrees in here?
If not more.
Yeah. It's the surface of the sun, roughly, but a little bit of sweat, a little bit of hard work, never killed anybody, as they say, and we now have a turbo system that is on the old silver car here. So obviously it is a ways away from actually doing anything, as evidenced by, you know, like the lack of wires or plumbing or anything else, but at least with the engine in, that now gives me the placements in the base to get the rest of those things done. So I like to think, again, as you guys saw in the time lapse, old Lee here knows how to use a tool or two.
Yeah, once or twice.
He might be a tool, but you know, who knows. But all right, as you saw in the last clip, we went ahead and got the engine put in the Supra. So it didn't take that long. The setup is pretty easy to work on, but I figured I'd do a quick once over with you guys since it's been a while since the car's been on here, and I guess I've never really gone over an overarching, all-encompassing view of it. So let's take a look. Now, obviously it's a little bit different than most of the Supra setups or 2JZ setups that you will see. Turbo is mounted low, and it's kind of a bastard Pro Mod 94 setup, rebuilt with an 11-blade billet compressor wheel, precision front cover, Garrett center, and tile rear, exiting with a 5-inch tie exhaust coming up through the fender here. Obviously there's a lot of titanium that is represented here, all Tycon Industry stuff. I've worked closely with those guys, always done me well. Tie dump tubes. There is the header, which with the help of Mike Furyk, as many of you guys may know, Dog Fab, his TIG cups. He also supplied me with the Inconel to build this header. So it's all 049 wall Inconel 625 tubing to keep the header as light as it could be without sacrificing longevity. Moving past there, built the intake manifold, simple normal style intake manifold for these with twin rows of injectors, ID 1700s on top, and then billet atomizer 500s on the bottom. I have a Wilson manifolds 104, 105 millimeter throttle body, whichever one it is, I can't remember. Top side, Pro EFI HO coils, Autobahn Motorsports valve covers. It is a Head Games 2JZ GE head. Bottom end is a cast block aluminum rod 3-liter that I built with the guys at Accelerated Performance. The head also has a big boy Weldon, I think it's a 12.5 gallon mechanical fuel pump, cam driven off of a Sleeper Designs billet pump bracket there. Titan balancer, little dry sump pump bracket that I machined myself here with a drill press and a couple of belt sanders. Big radius intercooler that I did a video on earlier. And then underneath of the car, can't see it now because it's obviously close to the ground, I have a reed case Turbo 400 in there. There is a drive shaft shop 9-inch out back, and you can see a little bit underneath of here have IDS coilovers. Inside of the car, it is a 25.5 cage that, if you see up on the side of the main hoop there, it has been certified and everything. And really that's about it for right now. So the car obviously needs a bit more work and a bit more to get it where it's actually running and driving and racing again, but at least to have the engine back in now and to have it to the point where it looks nice again, I kind of actually want to work on it, is a huge step forward. I'm also considering doing a Q&A about welding and fabrication, the car, or anything else you guys see on the channel here. So put your questions in the comments below and I'll answer the ones that I can. But I think that's going to about wrap it up for this video. As always, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, we'll see you then.